Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte. Guys, this is my favorite time of the year. I'm just going to say it right now. We're in the off season? Yeah, no, that doesn't exist. The Colorado Avalanche, yes, they won the Stanley Cup. Yes, they're probably going to lose Nazem Kadri. Yes, they're going to lose some other players like Josh Manson. But this team is still decent. Now, the question is, what do they do now? Now, the Colorado Avalanche's GM of the year, as was announced during the draft, Joe Sakic, kind of says, all right, I won my award, pat on the back. All right, let's get back to work. So the Colorado Avalanche did what I thought they were going to do. Now, my prediction was they were going to go to the Washington Capitals for this trade. I thought they were going to pick up Ilya Samsonov, an RFA goaltender that there was a lot of potential. He could be a starter in Washington. Didn't really work out. And this was the similar compensation I would expect, except the Colorado Avalanche didn't go to the Caps. Or maybe they did, they just didn't complete the trade with them. They went with a Russian goaltender in the Northeast with the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers acquire a 2022 third-round pick, a fifth-round pick, and a third-round pick in 2023 of the Colorado Avalanche. In exchange, the Colorado Avalanche acquire the signing rights to restricted free agent goaltender Alexander Georgiev. So, what are my thoughts? Well, this tells you a couple things. So the first thing is the Rangers get their compensation for Georgiev. 2/3 and a fifth. Nothing really great, but again, he's coming off of a contract situation, and the Rangers kind of have their hands tied. Their cap situation doesn't really even allow them to give him a qualifying offer. They don't have enough cap space, so it was either you pick up 3 draft picks for this guy, or they probably would have had to just let him go in free agency. But Colorado, surprisingly, said, listen, we really like Georgiev, and that's their guy. Now, here's the thing. Is this going to mean that they make another trade, meaning Francouz moves out, or are they confident enough in Francouz to be the 1B? Right? You have Georgiev as 1A, 1B with Francouz. I'm not sold on that. I gotta be honest with you. Not sold on that at all. But I think when they realized that Marc-Andre Fleury signed in Minnesota, they were like, all right, well, that was our guy. And now it's like, all right, we're going to go this route. For the Rangers, they pick up 3 draft picks for a guy they would have probably lost for nothing next week. Not bad. For the Avalanche, again, I'd like to say that here, Sakic losing a trade. But we said that last year when they acquired Darcy Kuemper, and look how that turned out. They won a Stanley Cup. So I'm going to wait and see on this one. As of today, Georgiev is the best asset of the deal because, again, you're picking up 2/3 and a fifth. And realistically, those aren't going to turn into anything, but they can. It's happened before, but that's not something we're going to see the effects of till maybe 4 or 5, maybe even 6 years from now, right? So the Avalanche get Georgiev. This is their guy. Now listen, I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of Georgiev, especially with the way he ended the season with the Rangers. And now the Avalanche are going to be expecting a lot from him next year. Now here's the thing you could say. Well, the Rangers defense, they were a lockdown defense for most of the time. But Georgiev couldn't stop a beach ball at points, especially toward the end of the season. I went to that Habs game. Oh, if anybody was at the Garden for that game, oof, that was rough. Because the Rangers should have won that game, and Georgiev kind of gave it away. Now, again, that's one game, but there were times throughout his career where he really struggled, and he could only beat the New York Islanders for some reason. Like, that was his team he could beat. So this is an interesting move in the slightest. So that's the first part. That's probably their goalie. And 2, what does this mean for Darcy Kuemper? Well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think Kemper's gone. This is from Darren Drager. He said, Darcy Kuemper is out in Colorado with the Georgiev trade. The Avalanche didn't have the cap space to keep Kuemper, so he will be an unrestricted free agent July 13th. Now, this is from Frank Saravelli. He said, the Colorado Avalanche never really gave Darcy Kuemper a formal contract offer. So that kind of leads you to believe they just knew they didn't have the cap space, and it's one of those things that they just knew it wasn't going to work. This is from Bruce Garriott. Darcy Kemper is looking for a deal in the $6 million AAV range. That's a lot. Kemper's asking for a handsome return here with the season he had. And that's fine. I think he will get that. He's definitely one of the prime targets. I would say Kemper, Campbell are probably the top two. I think if we're being honest, because now Fleury's off the board, and unless you're going goalie, trade route, which is like John Gibson in Anaheim, or I've heard weird things about Connor Hellebuck over the past couple months in Winnipeg. Other than that, you're not going to see much out there, and maybe Varlamov of the Islanders in a trade. So those are your only really, I would say, 5 goalies in the goalie market that are really any bit respectable. So Darcy Kemper's gonna get some change. Now the question is, where could he end up? So realistically, he's going to go for the bag here. So does that mean maybe Buffalo? Buffalo could be on the radar. Depending on what Ottawa thinks of Forsberg and Philip Gustafsson, do they go the route of Kemper? I don't think so. I don't think the Senators will go that route, but it's something to consider. The Montreal Canadiens, I think they already know what they're doing. Again, maybe they're in the mix, but haven't heard much on that front. I think Buffalo is in the mix. More teams in the States. I've heard even, again, it's hard to figure out because things change so quickly, right? But I wonder if a team out on the West Coast, say like, where is San Jose? Like, could they get Darcy Kemper under a contract? They don't have much cap space, but could they try and swing that and make that work? You know he's not going to Arizona. I'm not even considering that. That won't be happening. I look at St. Louis. If they move Jordan Binnington, could they bring in Darcy Kemper? That would be an interesting fit. Chicago's got Peter Mrazek. They're not going to be in the mix. New Jersey, I think, is definitely the prime candidate because he won't accept the trade to Edmonton, and that's why I haven't mentioned the Oilers yet. So really, there's legitimately 3 teams as of today, without trading or anything right now. The New Jersey Devils, the Buffalo Sabres, and the Detroit Red Wings. I think that's realistically the 3 teams you're looking at. And I think for Kemper, he can get that $6 million per year from all 3 of those teams and still be on a competent team. So I think that's the scenario with Darcy Kemper. Let me know what you guys think down below. Where do you think he could end up? The Oilers are expected to be the most serious team in pursuit of Kemper from Bruce Garriott. But again, I am going with the sense that Campbell will end up in Edmonton. Kemper will end up in either Buffalo, Detroit, or New Jersey. And then the dominoes start to fall from there. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you again next time.